Good morning. This is Chris on Around the ATL Side Notes on IMTM Worldwide Radio. It's been an interesting couple of hours. That's all I will say. So this is an impromptu show. This is not a show that I prepared to do. I'm really freestyling this morning, 2 o'clock in the morning. If you've never, ever, what's that glare on my camera? I can't fix it. If you've never watched Around the ATL, I should try to fix it though, right? Let's see if I can fix it. Because that's going to disturb me the whole night. That's better. So if you've never watched Around the ATL, 1, subscribe to the IMTM Worldwide Radio YouTube channel. That way you'll never miss a show. We have a lot of episodes that we've logged in over the years, talking Atlanta Hawks, talking Atlanta Braves, Atlanta Falcons, Atlanta United, Atlanta Dream, Atlanta Vibe, which is a new volleyball team that's here. We also do college sports in the state of Georgia. So Georgia, UGA, Georgia Tech, sometimes, Georgia State, Clark, Albany State, anything that's in the state, and we do it seasonally. So in a couple of months, we'll be doing college football, obviously, and college basketball. So if you like and enjoy talking college sports, definitely tune in for that. We also do interviews, and we haven't done an interview in a while. We've been kind of waiting for this period of time to pass by where we have the draft and then free agency. But every year we've had Bob Rathman and Steve Holman of the Atlanta Hawks. Bob obviously does television. Steve does radio broadcast of the Hawks on 92.9 The Game. We've had them on Around the ATL. They love being on the show. And at the end of last season was the first time we had them live on the show, on our live stream, which was very exciting. Before they always called into the show on the radio version. So look out for that in the near future as well. Again, subscribe to the IMTM Worldwide Radio YouTube page. You can also follow on Facebook and Instagram, IMTM Worldwide Radio. You can also follow me on Twitter. Follow. I'm always on Intellect ATL, and my co-host Jordan Jackson is Jordan23 ATL. Make sure you follow up there. Also, of course, tonight's show is brought to you by IMTM Worldwide Images. Make sure you go there if you know a business owner that needs headshots, you know a family that wants family pictures, you know an actor who needs headshots for their acting in Atlanta, you know someone who's a musician and they need pictures. Anything you need pictures-wise, I can do it for you. You can also follow me on Instagram, IMTM Worldwide Images 1 on Instagram. So let's get into it. So tonight, it's about one thing and one thing only for me. And that is filling a need. And the Hawks had the supreme opportunity to do that. And one of the things about the draft is usually, even if you get a pick, if it's a high pick, you usually do the filling of a need that same moment. You usually hear, we have a trade to announce, right? And that didn't happen, at least not yet. And again, not sure why they split this into 2 nights. Nobody's watching night 2, but it's just the principle of it all. We had the number 1 pick. We had all the marbles. We could have did so much, but we didn't fill a need. Like for instance, and let me go to the press release from the Hawks. And I'm gonna just read that real quick if I can get to it. Well, 12:28 in the morning, actually. So Zachary, in 32 French League Pro A regular season games, 23 starts, he averaged 10 points, 3.8 rebounds in 21 minutes of play. He shot 43% from the field, 35% from three, 74% from the free throw line. Euro Cup, he averaged 11 points, 3.3 rebounds, and 1 assist in 23 minutes. Now, he did shoot 50%, 45% from three. 50 career French League Pro A regular season contests, 7.3 points a game, 2.9 rebounds, and 18 minutes of play. He shot 42% from the field, 33% from three. He's 6'9", under 200 pounds. Now, my first question would be, who is he beating out? Who is he beating out? Like, is he actually going to play? Is he going to be in G League straight up as a #1 draft pick? Because on the technical side, if we run it back, like it looks like we're going to, he technically wouldn't beat out nobody in the starting lineup. Is he going to beat out Hunter? No. Right? He ain't beating out JJ, obviously. Right? And on the bench, I mean, heck, he might not beat out Garrison Matthews, for all I know. Right? Here's another thing about need. And I'm about to go over, even though I don't want to, I have to kind of do it now because of this decision that the Hawks made. I'm gonna have to go over some stuff here. Did y'all know that Al Horford was the last center that the Atlanta Hawks drafted that has averaged 18 points or more in a season since Moses Malone, which was in the 80s. No other Hawk since Moses Malone, in between him and Al Horford, has a center average 18 points or more in the season. We only have 2 centers in all of Atlanta Hawks, well, all of Hawks history, because Bob Pettit played for the St. Louis Hawks in the 50s, 60s, whatever. And then Moses Malone in the 80s for the Atlanta Hawks. Now, if you want to get technical, we can say John Collins, because he did play center for a little bit. And John Collins had a 19 points a game season. And he had a 21 points a game season right after that. If you want to get technical, we have had nobody drafted. So here's our draft, just to confirm that for y'all real quick. 1985, we drafted John Concat, right? We also drafted Edy Tavares, but he never played for the Hawks, unfortunately. 1986, nobody. We drafted Alexander Volkov, though. Okay. 1987, nobody. We drafted 7 players, but none of them were going to be our center, obviously. 1988, nobody. We drafted 3 players. 1989, Roy Marble and Hayward Workman. Now, Hayward played some games, for sure, right? Well, wasn't a center. 1990, Ramil Robinson. 1991, Plastic Man, Stacey Altman. 1992, Adam Keefe, number 10. Drafted him number 10. 1993, Doug Edwards from Florida State. 1994, I'm gonna pass him too. 1995, Hindu. 1996. Now, Al Horford is one of 3 centers that the Hawks have drafted since 85. Priest Lauderdale is one of them, 96. 97, Ed Gray. Y'all remember Ed Gray and Chris Crawford? 1988, Rashawn McLeod. 1999, JT, Jason Terry. Cal Bowler, Deion Glover, Jermaine Jones. Y'all remember that draft? JT, of course, had a good career with the Hawks. Year 2000, DeMar Johnson, Hanno, Scooney Penn. 2001, another center that we were never going to see, Pau Gasol. 2002, doesn't matter. 2003, Boris Diaw. 2004, Jay Chill, Jay Smooth and the guys, Royale Ivy. Still no centers. 2005, y'all know, Marvin Williams. 2006, Sheldon Williams and Solomon Jones. 2007, Al Horford, obviously, right? 2009, that's number 2. 2009, Jeff Teague. 2010, Damian Jones, Pop Desai. 2011, Keith Benson, whatever. 2012, John Jenkins, Mike Dam Scott, my man. 2013, Dennis, Shane Larkin. 2014, the third center we drafted. Never had a chance to play here, but he had a decent career overseas, though. Edy Tavares. 2015, Kelly Oubre. Of course, he never played here. 2016, DeAndre Bembry. 2017, John Collins. 2018, Trey, of course, Kevin, Omari Spellman. 2019, Cam Reddish. 2020, but really, he's a power forward. He's never going to get a chance to play center on our team. Not for real, because we've kept Clint this whole time, right? 2021, Jalen Johnson, Sharif. 2022, AJ. And last year, of course, Kobe Buffkin and Seth Lundy. That's been our draft. That's what's happened. Tonight, we had the opportunity to fill a need one way or the other. Take Sarr, instead of being held hostage by somebody who hasn't played before, or use the pick and get other people. We could have used the pick and gotten Holland and Edy. Could have did that. I guess one positive, we didn't get Klingon, because I definitely didn't want him, and apparently nobody else did either. Crying out loud. But we could have did some things. We could have used the pick and stole somebody from a current team to say, hey, we'll give you the number 1 pick if you give us your center. The average height of the Hawks has been 6'5" for way too many years. Last 3, 4, 5 years. The average height of the Hawks has been 6'5". How many more games do we have to watch 80 points in the paint be given up? 50, 60, 70, 80 points in the paint. I'm about to get to that in a second again, in a little bit. We had an opportunity to fill a need. So again, what direction are we in? What is the Hawks organization doing in regards to our direction? In our history, we've only had a couple of times where you can say we had a direction. And I mentioned this on the show the other day, actually yesterday, I think, in regards to the fact that we only had a few errors. We had Dominique error, obviously, right? Had some 50-win seasons in a row. Never made it to the ECF, but at least we competed. In the legacy era, Bulls, Pistons, Celtics. Dominique has a statue in front of State Farm Arena, but he wasn't able to stop nobody on those teams, right? I don't know why people don't hate him for that. That's the word, right? Can't stop nobody. You should hate him. Never heard anybody say Dominique locked down Larry Bird. I've never heard that. Y'all should tear down his statue because of that. Just saying. That's the word. You had the Coach Bud era, obviously. You had the Coach Bud era, obviously, right? And I still, and I mentioned this yesterday, I still think Woody had a little bit of an error. He was trending up. Every year, the team got better with him being there as a steward. He was directing them. He was getting them there. We competed with him there. And then you had Paul Bearer. And that's about it, because you can't really say we've had an error lately because we have no direction. We had a chance to have an error, but it was squandered. We were 2 games away from the finals, and everything that other teams would have done to continue that, we've done the exact opposite, and on purpose too, because the owner doesn't want to compete because he don't want to spend no money. He'll say he wants to spend money and doesn't care about the luxury tax, and say it on the news, say it in print, say it in video, say it on the air, all kind of wavelengths. He said it, but actions speak louder than words. We don't got no money. Money Mitch, I'm broke. I don't got no money, man. No money? What you talking about? So what is the direction now? I don't know. But I do know we need to fix what we don't have. So here's the deal. First of all, please subscribe to the IMTM Worldwide Radio YouTube channel. Take a couple of seconds, go to YouTube, type in IMTM Worldwide Radio. And actually, if you're on the page right now, you should see it. Just go to the page and hit, boom, there you are. You subscribe, then hit the notification button. That way you can see future shows. And again, you can follow, oops, wrong button. IMTM Worldwide Radio on Facebook or Instagram if you're on one of those platforms. You can also follow me on Twitter, Intellect ATL. I'm right down there, over there. All right. So I, over the last few weeks, have decided to go through the entire Atlanta Hawks 2023 season. So far, I've reviewed 4 games, and I'm going from back to front. I reviewed the Chicago play-in game. I reviewed the Pacers game, game 82. I reviewed the Minnesota Timberwolves game, and most recently, earlier this week, Charlotte Hornets. Now, in that play-in game, is really not cool because really the Pacers game, the last game of the season, really bled into that last game of the season, the play-in game. Because in that Pacers game, the Hawks gave up 157 points, 80 points in the paint, 52% from 3. In the Chicago game, we gave up 72 points in the paint and 42% from 3. Now, if you're asking, how did that happen? Go and watch the episode around the ATL Side Notes, and it's titled Trae Young. In that particular episode, about the 1 hour and 20-minute mark, I begin reviewing that particular game. So go and check it out. I go shot for shot. But what I'm going to do right now is just give you a reminder of each player and the points that was attributed to them as far as on the defensive side of the ball, how many points they gave up in that game. We lost that game 130 to 115, if you remember. Okay. So here's some of them. I'm not doing all of them, but I'm going to do some of the main ones. Clint gave up 29 points in that game. Layups, open jump shots. Layups, open jump shots. Most of it because he decided to continue to go where he didn't need to go. He's getting out of position. He's moving where he's not needed. He's helping when there's no help needed and leaving his man wide open. And he did it again and again and again. He's done it forever. Nobody stopped him. He doesn't have it in himself to recognize, well, Murray actually made it through the screen. I don't need the help. No, he's not even looking at his man anymore. He's already made a decision that he's going to help on Murray's guy, even though he don't need it, or whoever the person is. I'm just using Murray as an example. And Vucevic just goes to the bucket and they just throw it to him and he lays it up. Or worse, Clint leaves his man and comes all the way to the paint for no reason, leaves his man wide open for a 3. That happened in the Charlotte game that I just did. Grant Williams had 16 points. Clint couldn't stop him. Grant Williams, who is not a center, Clint couldn't stop him either. Okay. But Clint gave up 29 points in that game. Bogey gave up 24 points in that game. DJ gave up 18 points in that game. They were the primary defenders on White. Almost all layups. Vucevic had 24 points in that game, by the way. Hunter gave up 21 points in that game. Almost all layups and or wide open jumpers because, again, he wouldn't stay on his man. He's ball watching. Back turned to his guy. Ball rotates, wide open 3. Half the time, he wouldn't even contest. Or somebody's coming down, he won't even contest. He'll just stand there. 2 points, 2 points. Those 2 points add up. 72 points in the paint adds up very quickly. So if you want to watch shot for shot, go watch that particular game. But that's why we need a change, because we got to stop that. The rookie that we just drafted can't stop that. And whether or not he's a shooter or not, I don't know so much. I mean, again, we've had a lot of people come in as shooters and then they don't really shoot that much or hit that much when they come to the NBA. Okay. Shoot. Jimmy Verdette, for one. Thought he was going to come in here and drop 50. You know who did drop 50? Malachi Flynn. Pistons versus the Hawks, and Trae Young wasn't on the floor. He didn't give up those 50 points. How did Malachi Flynn get 50 points? So going to that point, again, if Trae Young is such a bum, if Trae Young is so bad that his defense and his defense alone only is the reason that the Hawks lose all of their games, first of all, that Bulls game, that ain't the case. Trae Young wasn't the one giving up all those points. I can't make up what happened in real life. I can only dictate what actually happened in the game. So when you go and watch that review, I'm only reviewing what actually happened shot for shot. Not what you think happened, what actually happened. Again, Trae Young is never going to be the best defender in the NBA, but that's not his task in the NBA. He wasn't drafted to become Gary Payton. He wasn't in Oklahoma as the best defensive point guard in the league. Colin Sexton was a better defender. Why didn't we get him if that was the need? Jaren Jackson Jr. Why didn't we get Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, for that matter, if that was the need or the want? But it's not Trae and Trae alone's defense that's losing these games. And that's why I'm going through these games to try to help everybody to show that. Now, if I can show that to y'all, I'll show it to you. But so far, I haven't been able to because it hasn't happened. Go look at that Pacers game. That Minnesota game is not cool. Why did we leave Ant-Man on Kobe Buffkin to hit 2 fadeaway jumpers to end the game? It was a 1-point game. And Hunter nor DJ Murray wanted to take the reins and say, I'm the best defensive player. Let me stop Ant-Man. No, Kobe, you got it. That's basically what they said. Kobe, you got it. It's a 1-point game. We're still in the game, but we're just gonna let you try. You're the rookie. Let you man up. Man up, Kobe. Because Trae wasn't in the game. Wasn't in the game. It would have been a perfect opportunity for Hunter to take the reins and say, I'm the best defender. But that didn't happen. I wonder why. Second quarter, 6 straight shots by Minnesota. Trae wasn't in the game. How did they score 12 points? That was the game right there. Charlotte Hornets, the Hawks were up 92-77 to start the fourth quarter, and they lost that game 115-114. Trae didn't play the fourth quarter. How did we lose that game, and how is it Trae's fault? See, when you make a statement to say Trae is the only reason that the Hawks lose games, you got to prove that statement. Nobody else has to do their job on defense. The reason I can't play defense is because of Trae Young. You got to prove that. And I'm proving that game after game. No, you just being lazy. No, you're deferring. No, you don't want to guard nobody. See, that's different than actually saying, I'm gonna blame a grown man. I'm a grown man. I'm gonna blame another man for not doing my job. No, you just don't want to play defense. That's different. Just being lazy, that's different. You don't know how to communicate on the floor. That's different. You don't want to take the reins and say, I'm gonna be the stopper tonight. So what I was doing is scrolling real quick, because in that same show around the ATL Side Notes, Trae Young, here's what happened during the season. Trae Young missed 28 games. The Hawks did not go 25-3. That did not happen. They went 14-14. That means they won 14 games and they lost 14 games. When Trae Young returned, the Hawks weren't at 500. Were they? No. So 14-14 is not better. And remember, Trae Young wasn't the only person hurt. It was Trae Young and Sadiq Bey and Jalen Johnson and Okongwu all at the same time. So anybody who wants to try to say, oh, well, without Trae, we're playing better. No, we're playing better without Trae Young and Okongwu and Bey and Jalen Johnson. So during that 28-game stretch, here are some of the players on the other teams that for some reason, some strange, crazy reason, they still balling out of control without Trae Young on the floor. So let's go through some games real quick. I'm going to try to do this real quick. I'm tired. So, for instance, without Trae Young on the floor, what would be the reason that Jason Tatum has 37 points in the game? Brown has 24. Porzingis has 17. Why does Peyton Pritchard have 15 points in the game? Trae ain't on the floor to hinder nobody. In another game, why does Tatum have another 31? Why does White have 22 points, shooting 72% from the floor and 83% from three? That's egregious. Why does Porzingis have 20 points again? Brown had 18. Why does Giannis have 36 points in the game? Why does Middleton have 21 points? Why does Pat Bev have 18? We didn't win that game. Played the Bulls. Why does DeRozan have 31? Who's guarding DeRozan? It's not Trae Young. He wasn't playing. White had 22 in that game. Drummond had 13 and 18 in that game. How does he have 18 rebounds? How does Malachi Flynn have 50 points in a ball game, y'all? Man, averages 4 points for his career. He had 50? He dropped a 50 piece on the Hawks? Can't blame Trae Young on that. Trae didn't play that game either. See, this is what I'm getting at. I don't understand how you can continue to, well, not you personally, whoever is watching right now, but people in general can continue to say a blank statement like, oh, well, it's Trae Young and he don't play good defense enough to win games. It's 5-on-5, people. Everybody has to do their part. But to continue to try to blame it just on Trae, when Trae is on the other side of the floor and you're just getting beat. You're just getting beat. They don't got nothing to do with Trae Young. You're just getting beat to the hoop. They're laying the ball up on you. Step back three on you. You see what I'm saying? Why does Booker have 30 points, 6 or 8 from three? Eric Gordon has 21 points, 8 of 11 from the floor, 4 or 6 from three. Trae ain't there. Don't understand that. Why, when they played the Lakers, AD has 22 and 15? D'Lo has 27 points and Bron has 25. Well, Bron always said, no, why Trae in the way? Why can't you lock down Bron? Why can't you lock down D'Lo? Why does he have 27 points? Who's sticking him? Utah Jazz. Why is Keontae George, I think is his name, has 25 points. Sexton has 21, young bull. John Collins had 18 and 11. Johnny Juzang off the bench had 19 points. He was 7 of 11 from the floor, 5 of 8 from three. Who was stopping that guy? We lost to Utah. We lost that game. Portland, Anthony Simons has 36. Ayton has 33. He missed 5 shots the whole game, Ayton did. Who's stopping him? Trae ain't in the way. If Trae is the reason you can't play defense and Trae ain't there for 28 games, none of this should be happening. Not like this. That's the excuse. Again, you make that as the excuse. For 28 games, he ain't there. The truth is, it don't got nothing to do with that. You just ain't playing good defense. That's what that is. That's all it is. The games show it. I don't got to show it. The games show it. I just happen to be reviewing the games for everybody. But the games show it yourself. Here it is. Played the Nets twice in a row. One time, Mikal Bridges had 38 points and Cam Johnson had 23. Next time we played them, Cam Johnson had 29. Dennis had 23. De'Ron Shop had 12, shooting 71% from the floor. We lost both of those games. The Warriors come out and play. Hey. Curry had 25. Clay had 24. Kuminga had 25. Went 11 for 11 from the field. Didn't miss a shot. Trey didn't play that game. So who was guarding Curry? Who was guarding Clay? And who the heck was guarding Kuminga? Trae Young ain't out there to mess up anybody. We lost that game too. The Kings. Anybody going to stop Harrison Barnes? He had 32 points. 32. Sabonis had 14 and 21. Philadelphia, of course. How does Maxey have 30? It's one thing for Joel to have 38. We can never stop Joel because we don't got no size to do it, right? But how you can't stop Maxey? Who's guarding him? You really gonna let him get 30? We lost that game 125 to 114. Remember, the Hawks lost 21 games by 7 points or less. The 4 games I've reviewed, 2 of the 4, we lost by 3 points and 1 point. The Hornets game, we couldn't stop Grant Williams. Literally. It ain't cool, folks. And tonight we had a chance to adjust some things, to have a threat at the 5 spot, because we would finally have somebody that you would actually have to guard because they could actually hit a jump shot. Clint has never hit a 3-point shot. He's 0% from 3. Like, let's see if I can pull it up real quick. Hopefully my computer doesn't crash on me. I got too much stuff open right now because I was going through some other stuff, but I'm doing some work. But let me give y'all this full scope real quick, okay? So far so good. Hasn't crashed yet. Hasn't crashed yet. Let me get to it. There we go. So literally in his career for 3-point percentage, it says 0. Okay. So how's everybody continue to complain about not having a big that can hit a 3, and then you don't want a big that can hit a 3? When you don't have a big that starts that can hit a 3. He's never done it. 10 years. So if you can't hit a 3, you can't hit a 17-foot jumper, you can't hit a 12-foot jumper, you can't hit a 5-foot jumper, you can't hit no shots off the backboard, off the square of the backboard because you have no touch, you can't finish at the rim, and you can't hit free throws, you got to be an ultimate stopper on the defensive side. And unfortunately, Clint ain't that. He does not play good post defense at all. He never comes up off of a pick to actually guard the shooter at the top of the key if that happens. But he overhelps and he puts other people in jeopardy all the time. Oh, well, Chris, he gets those offensive rebounds. He don't put none of them back in. He averages 10 points a game. It'd be different if he was putting rebounds in, but see, most of those offensive rebounds are his misses. He ain't getting 5 offensive rebounds from everybody else missing shots. Those are his shots. He's doing the Moses Malone. But Moses Malone could get 20 points a game, though. Clint gives us 10, which means if he's getting 5 offensive rebounds, he's only getting 2 or 3 defensive rebounds. Guess what? Second chance points. We had an opportunity to finally address some of those things, both offensively and defensively, because on defensive side of the ball, Sarr is going to get multiple blocks a game and be a deterrent for people not to shoot. See, nobody cares about Clint being under the basket. That Chicago game, Go watch it on the IMTM Worldwide YouTube channel under Around the ATL Side Notes, Trae Young. The review of that game starts at the hour and 20-minute mark approximately. Most of White's buckets are layups. Look who gives up most of those layups. Vucevic, layups. Like literally almost all of his buckets were under the rim. And most of them were drives on Clint. Like literally from the three-point line all the way to the rim. And Clint couldn't stop him. Couldn't stop him. Watch the game. I don't have to make nothing up. The game tells you what happens. All you gotta do is watch. Again, I don't think a lot of people watch games. Ain't my fault. But I'm just going by what happened in the doggone game. Clint gave up 29 points in that Chicago game himself. Layups, wide open jumpers, because he wouldn't stay on his man. Nobody cares about going up against Clint. Everybody can get it. That Boston series, Brogdon getting layups. Clint don't get 4 blocks a game, 3 blocks a game, 2.5 blocks a game. He's not a threat there. And he doesn't play good post defense, a.k.a. Joel or Vucevic or Nick Claxton for that matter sometimes. My God, doesn't matter. Allen, Cleveland. Andre Drummond, 24 and 25 he put on us one night. He's 30 years old. That's why I said we should get him. We'd have size at least with him as a reserve. Again, one of the reasons we lost so many games last year, we didn't have no backups. We didn't have no backups because the last 2 seasons we've chosen to not get depth. 9 players averaging 6 points or less, you can't compete in the Eastern Conference and definitely not the West. Can't do it. We either need to score more points or we need to stop some points. Pacers scored 130 points a game and dared you to miss a shot. They got to the Eastern Conference Finals doing that, not playing no defense. The Hawks averaged 118 points a game and gave up 120 plus. The math don't math at that point. We lost 21 games by 7 points or less. That Charlotte game was a 1-point game loss. And we had a 92-77 lead in that game. Trae didn't play the fourth quarter. They pulled him. I think that was his first game back. They pulled him in the fourth quarter, and we couldn't hold the lead. Who do you blame? Because it can't be Trae Young. Trae Young in that game actually went 5 for 5, by the way. He took 5 shots. He hit all of them. I think he had 11 assists off the top of my head. And they pulled him. And 92-77 lead. Why not? We lost that game. Mostly because of Bridges, Miles Bridges, not Miles Bridges. What's his name? I don't know what his name is now, but let's see if I can find it though. Game 82. Wait, that can't be right. Game 80. There we go. His name is his name is also Bridges. Yeah. He had 18 points, had 7 for 14 from the field, 50%. Grant Williams had 16 points, 5 of 6 from the field. That's who Clint had. 2 of 3 from 3. And Miller had 20. Miller had 27 points. He was 9 of 17 from the field. There was one shot where Garrison had fell on the ground. Miller was his guy. Garrison fell on the ground and basically for a 5 count just sat there on the ground. Miller is standing at the 3 and he's clapping for the ball as the ball is going around and stuff. Garrison's just sitting there. And finally Miller has passed the ball and Miller hits a wide open 3. What kind of defense is that? It's that kind of stuff that just irks me. But I'm like, all y'all just wash all over that and still just blame Trae Young when he ain't in the game. I don't get it. The next game I'll be doing is game 79, which was against the Miami Heat. Hawks lost that game 117 to 106. Butler, I think, had 25. Jovic had 23. And Tyler Hero had like 33. And I'm trying to figure out, how did they let Tyler Hero score 33 points? Who was defending Tyler Hero? Because Trey wasn't out there. So how did we lose that game? I believe that game was also at home. In fact, I know it was because my co-host Jordan Jackson was at that game. And he was trying to fight, he had to fight Heat fans there. Why keep saying something so demonstratively untrue? Opinion is not a fact because you keep saying it. There's nothing wrong with having an opinion, but you got to back it up with something. And then when you see the actual, you can't keep saying the same stuff anymore when it's just not true. And the whole world has been told, oh, well, the reason that the Hawks lose is Trae Young. And I'm like, you don't say that when after 6 seasons, Trae Young has done the things that he has done and no other player has done it. No Hawk has done it. And not too many people in the NBA has done it. There's only a few who are in the Hall of Fame who are done some of the things that Trae has done. And some have never done it. Steve Nash has never averaged 25 and 10. And Steve Nash has 2 MVPs. Trae Young right now is 4th in the NBA in history right now, current assists per game. Current. Playoffs, he's only played 27 games. He's 8th in NBA history, 30-point, 10-assist games. He's one of a handful who has a 30-point, 15-assist game. He's only played 27 games. Him and Nick are tied in playoff Hawks history, 26-game average. Trae's only played 3 seasons in the playoffs. 3. No other Hawk has done that. Not even close. Trae leads the Hawks in assists. He's going to be there all time. He's going to have that. He's probably going to end up being close to top 3 in steals. He's going to be the points leader for sure. If he plays here long enough, he will. For sure. The only records he really won't be able to get is rebounds and blocks, obviously. He's not going to get those. But everything else, he's pacing everything. And again, NBA history, if he plays long enough, if he plays another 8 seasons, he could possibly be, well, he's definitely going to be top 10 in assists all time. He could be top 5. And if he plays long enough and if he keeps it up where he's going right now as far as scoring, he could be top 10 in scoring too. All time. Everybody. That's crazy. And you say, oh, let's just get rid of him. Let's get rid of him. Oh, don't do that. You put players around him just like they did for Luka, who don't play no defense. It's egregious how bad his defense is. This is bad. Trae Young ain't on that kind of level. He just isn't. You can count what you want against him in regards to his stature, but you really can't do that because he doesn't supposed to guard centers and power forwards and everybody. He holds his own on everybody else for the most part. He is not getting beat to the basket every possession like some people on our team. He just isn't. The game show that. And he's a team leader in charges taken. He moves his feet. He moves his feet better than Bay does. Bay is a sieve at defense. If he's not hitting his shot, we're in trouble. He's giving up points. One of the reasons the team played a little bit better is because Bay wasn't on the floor. Besides the slower pace that we were at, because Trae ain't out there. Because Trae is running and he's trying to pass it to everybody. Y'all know that. We got to look at things in an honest way, not hatred. You got to take that out and say, well, here's the reality. Certain players are not playing with effort. They're not playing with knowledge. Defense is part effort and knowledge. You're supposed to know where you're supposed to be. You're supposed to be able to recognize that person's not about to actually set a screen, so I don't really need the help. Why is the center all the way at the 3-point line? He's not even looking at his man to see what his man is doing, seeing that his man is about to break to the basket. You could hedge and not even allow the screen to happen in the first place. Since we don't have no coaches who can tell us that, there ain't no adjustments coming from the bench. We got to get some better players defensively, period. Which is why initially I said we need to get Caruso up in here. We need to get OG up in here. We need to get Drummond up in here. We need to get Pat Bev up in here. That right there will change your perception in regards to just doing certain things. Pat Bev, especially because of his voice. He's going to slap you around and maybe hit you in the neck. You ain't doing right. And explain to you why you're doing wrong. How come you didn't get back on defense? How come you didn't call out the switch? How come you didn't fight through the screen? Like half of our problems would be fixed if you just fight through the screen. But even with that, if the other person doesn't recognize that you fought through the screen and you're helping anyway, over helping, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's embarrassing what we do on the floor defensively. It's embarrassing. We don't know how to block out. Half of our points comes from not blocking out. You don't know where your man is. Ball is in the air. I did the Minnesota game. There was a shot that Conley shot, and it was an air ball. Rudy is right there. Clint is right there, and Clint is watching the ball. And Rudy is right there. He don't block Rudy out. Rudy gets the ball and puts it back in. It's really simple. When you don't block out, that's your job. Ball is in the air. You got to find out where your man is. To not do that means you're being lazy and you don't care. There's a shot in that Chicago game where Bogey is not with his man as usual, and the ball careens off, and the ball rotates, and his man is wide open for a three, and Bogey don't even come back out there. He's in the paint the whole time for some reason. His back is turned to his man. You can't do that. You got to stay with your man. Do your job. Or not. But you can't blame that on somebody else. Man up and blame yourself for not doing your job, not keeping with your assignment. You got to read and recognize things. You got to anticipate. And then you also need your teammates to be like, Chris, left. Chris, right. That's what my teammates do when I play every Sunday. Chris, coming to your left. Chris, you're by yourself. Chris, switch. I got him. Chris, switch back. See, when you do have a mismatch, if they don't attack it immediately, you got time to switch back so you don't have a mismatch the whole time. I'm not supposed to let my 5'5" point guard play my guy, which is 6'4", 280 pounds. I got to handle that guy. But sometimes it's not possible. Maybe they set a good pick on me and I'm not able to fight through it. So we switch. But it's not forever switch. You got to come back down and help or double team at the very least. We won't even do that. Why would you leave Kobe Buffkin against one of the best scorers in the NBA in Anthony Edwards? Why would you do that? We did it twice in the last quarter of a game. We were only down by 1 point, and we let him hit 2 fadeaway jumpers off the backboard. Trae Young ain't in the game, so it's not his fault. And you let Kobe Buffkin, the rookie, take a future MVP on. Explain that to me. Where was Hunter or DJ? They're supposed to be our best defenders, not Kobe Buffkin. Kobe might be great one day, but this is his rookie freaking season. That's why I get mad, because the people who's supposed to actually do certain things won't, and they defer it to everybody else but themselves. And then they get mad when the layup goes in, when they're the ones getting blown by. It's their mishap. You can't blame nobody else but yourself. And I don't blame nobody if I get blown by. And if one of my guys gets blown by, you know what my job is? Not to give them a layup. Or I'm going to block your shot. Or I'm going to deter the shot because I got a 7-foot something wingspan. You ain't going to just get a layup on me. In fact, you're not going to drive on me because you already know you ain't going to get a shot on me because I got reputations to uphold. I don't care if I'm in my late 40s. I can still play. I'll get up and down that court. But anyway, got a couple of comments. Let's see. Oh, what's up, Francis? Man, this front office is a mess. I think we was going with Sar. Seems like we don't need Sar. Guess not. Yeah. Again, we could have traded the first out, and we could have did this, and I would have been cool. We could have traded the first pick and gotten Holland, who's a true blue defender on the wing. He wants to take the ball from everybody. He's going to stop you from scoring. He has pride. He's going to get three steals a night plus. He got pride. And then we could have got Edy. Size. Can't move him out the post. We could have got 2 for 1. Made everybody happy. We didn't even do that. And y'all's guy Klingen, he was out there in the wind somewhere. Did he get picked up? I don't know. Because like I said, after the first pick, I turned everything off. I was like, I'm done for the night. Bye. So did he ever get picked up? Told y'all. Crazy, crazy, crazy. All these decades we're talking about. All these other franchises who have had centers of note, centers that have produced, centers that have helped teams win every year. And the Hawks won't do anything to compete. Won't do it. Won't do it. Won't do it. You see what I'm saying? They won't do it. I just went through 1985 to 2024. How many centers have the Hawks drafted? And out of the ones that they did, look what happened to them. Nothing is guaranteed, by the way, but this young man was as close to a guarantee as we were ever going to get. Because he could do the things that we need right now. We don't have to wait for him. Clint has never shot a three-point shot. Sark can hit a three. We synced it. He can drive to the basket. We synced it. He has form. He can hit free throws. He can hit turnaround fadeaway jumpers. I got the tape. His tape looks better than Zach's, as far as I'm concerned. Because he feels the need that we have right now. He can go in there right now. And then also he'd be playing with the best guard, best passer in the game. Right now. He will finish all of Trey's passes like John Collins used to do, hitting 77% from 0 to 5 feet out. Not 60%. That's a big difference, y'all. And you see it every game. There was another game the Pacers scored 150 points on us. Clint, I believe, was 4 of 9 in that game for like 9 points. He had 7 rebounds. Wasn't good. I'll just say that. It wasn't good. I'll get to that game. I think that game is in January, so it'll be a while before I get to that game. But I just had to look. I was like, man, have we given up 150 points in the same season this year? I think we have. And sure enough, there it was. It was the same team. Miles Turner. You know what? I could do that. I could do that for you now. That's why I did it. So I actually pulled some tape. I'm gonna let y'all watch it. Pull some tape. This is why I said earlier in the show, do we have a direction? And why aren't we feeling a need, Hawks organization? Why not? So here's an example. I'm going to just play these. I'm not going to say anything to lead up to them like I usually do. I'm going to just let you watch them. I thought I had deleted them. I guess I didn't. So this is from, I believe, January against the Pacers. We gave up 150 points in this game. Okay?
Nobody's benefited more from playing with Tyrese than Miles Turner. He's been able to put him in position to make plays, catch the ball, giving him confidence.
Murray again, too strong off the glass. Capella, and they gang rebound, and Halliburton tiptoes along the end line. Yeah, good to see Bruce Brown out there again. Andrew Nembhard missing his second consecutive game out due to injury. He was in the starting lineup as the Pacers started this win streak. That's a miss by Capella, rebounded by Turner.
Enough to freeze the defense.
Had missed 5 straight games with a right knee bone bruise. Had 15 points the other night against Milwaukee. That's a blocked shot.
This is where the psychology comes in. You want to make sure that Toppin gets rewarded for the fact that he played well.
Bay misses, rebound, there's Capella, and he missed it again, and that's Pacers ball.
Now, watch this.
These are two teams that average better than 14 made threes per game. Turner again in the center of the floor. Goes inside against Bay, and a foul. Again, the Pacers had great balance. They had 4 starters in double figures. Jalen Smith was one of those with 11. Halliburton was the only starter not in double figures as Turner starts with a jump shot. Trent Forrest is in for Atlanta. Also, Bogdan Bogdanovic as Turner's jump shot good. Pacers lead by 5.
And I can't tell you how good that pass is. Capella, that's how he makes his living. But you got to be ready to shoot that.
Halliburton gets in, finds Turner, and Turner lays it in.
Now, which would you rather have? A center that can finish and hit jump shots or not? This is just one game. This is just one game. What if the Hawks had Miles Turner? Me and my co-hosts have talked about Miles Turner in the past. Miles Turner, who can hit shots from the inside, he can hit shots from the outside, and also mid-range. He can shoot from anywhere on the floor. You have to be guarded at that point. You're a threat. We don't have a threat. We don't have a threat. We don't have a threat. You either need to have a center who's a threat on offense or someone who's really good at being a deterrent on defense. Sometimes you get lucky and you get a mixture of the two. Turner is a decent shot blocker, but he's not a defensive player per se. But he gets his blocks, though. But he's really good at offense. And he's on the highest scoring team in the league because all 5 can hit shots. It makes a difference. It makes a difference when you have to guard one more person. On the opposite side, nobody ever has to guard Clint. Did you you saw why? That's just one game. That's just one clip of a game. That's almost just one quarter of a game. Because I think he was 1 for 5 in the first quarter. He didn't play in the fourth quarter, by the way. They pulled him. Okay. So which would you rather have? I need someone to answer that. Like, be for real about it. Why would we want to go through another decade of not having a threat at center when now you have Wemby and Chet and now Sarr and Edy, along with everybody else who's already been out there dropping on us, Vucevic, that dude in New Orleans. There was one game the Pelicans had against us, and they scored 80 points in the paint, and Valanciunas had like 20-something rebounds. It's mind-boggling that nobody can see. I don't get it. I don't get it. It was a need, and we could have filled it. Now, it might not have worked out, but at least we would have done it and then see what happens. And if we had drafted him and we offered him a Sarr contract, supposedly on this whole deal, oh, he didn't want to play in Atlanta or whatever, we still have his draft rights. Now we can maneuver. But we have a power of position because we weren't punked by some kid who had never played in the NBA before. Because he fit a need. This other kid don't. This other kid might not even play this year. Like, literally, he might not play. Like, for real, for real. Like, that is a real possibility that we will not see him for most of the regular season. Because who is he going to beat out? Is he beating out Hunter? And here's the crazy part. What if we actually do make some moves and we get rid of Hunter, we get rid of DJ, we get rid of Clint, and we get better on all of those positions? Who is he going to beat at that point? Because if we get better than what we got, he can't beat none of those people out either. Now, we can say, well, maybe he can beat somebody on the bench if we change the bench. Possibly. Maybe. He can fight somebody for a spot, training camp or whatever. It's possible, I guess. But is it likely? I don't think so. We had a chance to get a need filled. And it's not so much disappointment, it's being upset that you had the number one pick and you had all the power and you gave up the power. And because we might not make no moves because we poor, we needed to fill that need, at least fill that need. And if we're going to run it back, at least give us a center that we can work with. If we're going to run it back with Trey and DJ and whoever at small forward and JJ, because I'm guessing that DJ is going to play off the bench for real, right? So I guess we're going to keep Bay for one more year. So I guess we put Bay there. JJ, and then at least if we had Sar, we at least have JJ and Sar on the same team. Okay, right? And then on the bench, you got Kobe, then Bogey, then Hunter, then Kumoji, and then Okongwu. Okay. Now, maybe we get lucky and we still get Drummond. Drummond is better than Bruno, period. Okay. Maybe we could still get Pat Bev. And we keep Seth, because I think Seth deserves a shot to play. And you keep Garrison, because he can hit a three. And you keep Vic, because he could be, your multi-tool guy or whatever. Which, again, he should have played in the Chicago game. He wouldn't have let White get 42 points just because of his length. But Trent Forrest was so important, we just had to sign him and not let Vic play. And Trent didn't even play in that Chicago game. So that was a waste. See, do we have a direction? Just makes my head hurt thinking about it. So that's all I really wanted to talk about. Again, I was trying to keep this to an hour. Wait a minute, I missed this one. Do they contact a coach? Wait a minute. It seems like do they? Oh, he's asked. Okay, so Francis is asking, do they contact a coach when drafting a guy? So the operative word. You're talking about Nick? Come on, man. Y'all know the deal by now. I can't answer that question because I really just don't have no idea at this point. Who has say-so? Who has an idea of what's going on as far as needs? Because I don't know if Quinn Snyder knows what our needs are at this point. Because again, we don't have a big man coach. And we can't have, who's the video guy? Because the video guy is failing the Hawks. But again, we don't have a defensive voice on that bench. So if you don't have that, maybe Quinn don't know we need defense. And maybe he is going to try to outscore everybody. And if that's the case, I guess that's why you get this kid. But again, there was other people in this draft that I think are better scorers than him. That's just me. The Reed kid, I think, could be a better scorer, better shooter, if anything. Right? We needed to fix this. We needed the beginnings of fixing it. It wasn't going to just be one move. It was going to have to be a lot of moves, like myself and my co-host Jordan Jackson. And make sure y'all follow us on Twitter. Intellect ATL. Let me find it again. Follow us on Twitter real quick. Intellect ATL and Jordan 23 ATL. Do that. And make sure you hit the subscribe button. It's not hard. Take a couple of seconds, click it. Click IMTN Worldwide Radio on YouTube. You're watching it right now. Just go to the page and just hit subscribe. But do that for real. What was I saying? In regards to direction, in regards to needs. We were going to need 3 tiers of moves. We're going to have to do the draft. You got the free agency, but you got trades. And we really needed the trifecta this offseason. Because again, last year, we didn't do anything in the offseason. We did nothing at the trade deadline. And we bought out no contracts. I don't count that Dylan person. Dialing. I spit hot fire. No, I don't count him. Another disappointment draft. Yeah, Francis. But again, where is our franchise and organization ever given us a confidence that it can actually make genuine moves? They haven't. And most of that's because the owner doesn't want it. Because if he had wanted it, we would have people here. Because he wouldn't care about the luxury tax, even though he says it. Bleacher Report, The Athletic, 92.9 The Game, Zoom calls that are posted everywhere. I got money. I'm balling out of control. I don't care about no doggone luxury tax. I can handle it. I'm the 5th richest owner in the NBA. I got it. Like that. He don't want to spend it though. He don't have to, because half of y'all just care about looking good on Saturday night and swag surfing, and you buy tickets no matter what. So as long as y'all can do this, getting blown out by 35 points on ESPN. I'm still mad at that Boston game. I'm glad I left, because as soon as I heard the music, I'm fighting Boston Celtics fans all night for the Atlanta Hawks, and we're getting blown out, and I'm still trying to defend the fact that Doris Burke is right there and everything, and then swag surfing? Y'all ain't reading the room. We're getting the brakes beat off of us right now. This ain't appropriate. We don't care about winning. We just need that real hot concert. Yeah. Snowman come through there, right? Little Gucci man here and there, right? Goody Mob, right? As a season ticket holder that travels 2 hours to the game and 2 hours back home, I want to see my team have a chance to win. That's all. They might not win, but I want them to have a legitimate chance. And our organization is not giving us a legitimate chance to win every game. And it ain't fair. All the other teams have gotten better than the Hawks in the last 3 years. All of them. All of them are above us. Check this out. Man, my computer's going slow. Bulls finish ahead of us. The Heat finish ahead of us. 76ers finish ahead of us. Pacers finish ahead of us. The Magic finish ahead of us. Cavs, Bucks, Knicks, Celtics. The only ones that didn't finish ahead of us were the Nets, the Raptors, the Hornets, the Wizards, and the Pistons. Fortunately, they're down there forever, but so are the Hawks right now. We're stuck in purgatory because that's how the owner wants it. Just outside the play-in, we might get in there and sneak in there or whatever. Man, please. This ain't what it's supposed to be. How is this acceptable to anybody? It don't have to be like this. It really don't. It really don't. Our defense is not predicated on one player. It just isn't. I've shown that in 4 separate games now. 4 games to show defined examples of actual each shot that each team hit and say, okay, well, let's see how we can blame Trey for this one. Let's see how we can blame Trey for that one. Let's see how we can blame Trey for this one. Let me see if I got, because I don't think I deleted. Did I delete them? I don't think I did. Let's see. Charlotte Hornets. What quarter is this? Tell me how the first shot that the Hornets hit, how is this Trey's fault?
It's wide open. This team here, you can score a lot of points against them.
And with that, Todd Boogie Blaylock on the Hawks single season three-point list, a lay-in.
A lay-in. The first of many, because they had 50-something points in the paint. But tell me how that was Trey's fault. Let me show you again.
It's wide open. This team here, you can score a lot of points against them.
And with that, Todd Boogie Blaylock on the Hawks single season three-point list, a lay-in.
Clint's whole intention right there was to not stay with his man. He didn't care what Grant Williams was doing. And that's the whole game. Grant Williams had 16 points because of that. 2 of 3 from 3. We lost that game by 1 point. How's that Trey's fault? Tell me. I want someone to tell me. Yeah, Francis, this is a disappointing draft. Oh, I'll show y'all this one. This is the third shot of the first quarter for the Hornets. Now, if you watch the show, I'm not going to do the whole show here, but this is from the last show I just did, game 80 of the regular season, 2023 Atlanta Hawks season. I just haven't deleted these videos yet, so I'm going to show some of them. Third shot,
like
first
I said,
quarter.
you're going to get points against this team. They don't defend that well.
And a three ball on the way for Charlotte.
How well was that contested? Let me play it again.
Like I said, you're going to get points against this team. They don't defend that well.
And a three ball on the way for Charlotte.
See, defense is 5 players on 5 players. You've got to know where you're supposed to be at and who your guy is. And when you don't, that happens. I'll show y'all this one.
Ball, you're going to get any shot you want.
Bridges again, good again. Miles Bridges with back.
Garrison is on Bridges.
Ball, you're going to get any shot you want.
Bridges again, good again. Miles Bridges with back.
Garrison doesn't have Missick. Garrison has Bridges, but Garrison, for some reason, was looking at Missick. Stay with your man. Whatever happens behind you, around you, or whatever, you are on your guy. If you do that, you've eliminated that guy out of the play. So now they got to play 4-on-4. Let me show you this one. 7th shot. Oh, wait a minute. Did I delete it? I think I deleted that one by accident. So I'll show you another one. I'll show you the 8th shot instead. Here we go. 8th shot, first quarter.
30-year-old veteran, a EuroLeague star. First time in the NBA. On the cut, Pokashevsky. That's going to drop in. 7-footer from Serbia.
Bogey was never on anybody on that possession. I'll play it again for you.
30-year-old veteran, a EuroLeague star. First time in the NBA. On the cut, Pokashevsky. That's going to drop in. 7-footer from Serbia.
So explain to me how that's Trey's fault when he's not on the floor, and explain to me why Bogey was never on anybody. He's in the paint, ball watching on the other side of the floor, while multiple people are just walking around behind him. Just walk. Miller's over here, and Coach Ovechkin or whatever his name is over there, and do. That's not defense. And that's not Trey's fault. This is the whole game. This is every game this happens with all players. Oh, this is one. Second shot of the second quarter. Here it is.
They measured that one at 28 feet. I think they shortchanged it. Miller, he's got one back for Charlotte.
Well, you got it.
So where is Trey on that play? Trey's on his man. But let me show y'all what actually happened here.
They measured that one at 28 feet. I think they shortchanged it. Miller, he's got one back for Charlotte.
Well, you got it.
So on that one, Bruno has Richards. Kumo G has Thor, JT Thor. Thor, without the ball, he gets a pick from Richards. Bruno lets it go. Nobody has the ball yet, but Garrison somehow is pulled away by Thor. Somehow Palpatine returned. Gay, instead of picking up Miller, he also stays with Thor. Thus, Miller is wide open. Garrison actually does see that, and he tries to point it out. Nobody comes up, and Miller shoots and hits an open three. But again, we'll blame Trae Young on that somehow, like it's his fault. See, again, that's the messed up part of the premise of all these people who say, well, it's Trae Young and Trae Young alone that don't play no defense. When no, it's the whole team that can't play defense. You can't put it on Trae Young, because on almost more than half of these possessions, Trae Young is either not on the floor or on the other side of the court with his man and not involved in the play. Trae Young is not getting targeted. Oh, let's post up Trae Young. Let's put a center on Trae Young. That ain't happening, y'all. It's not happening. Nope, it's not happening. Not at nowhere near the rate you would think it would be happening to say, oh, Trae Young is giving up all the points. All 157 points, all 115. No, it's not happening. Yep, Trey's giving up some shots. Yeah, he has that one. He has the bad passes or whatever, and they lead to fast breaks. Those are points of his. I got that in the show if you go watch it. Yeah, Trey, he didn't turn his back in time. But it don't happen like it does with Bogey. Doesn't happen like it does with Hunter. Doesn't happen like it does with Clint. Why is Clint not on his guy all the time? Let me see if I can find. Let me see. What quarter is this right here? Second quarter? Let's check this one out real quick. 7 shots, second.
The correct score is 45-44. They just took a Trent Forrest basket away that they say came after the shot clock buzzer. Baseline jam for JT Thor.
What is Bruno doing? Let me play that again.
The correct score is 45-44. They just took a Trent Forrest basket away that they say came after the shot clock buzzer. Baseline jam for JT Thor.
How is that acceptable to anybody? Who was Bruno guarding? First of all, why was he guarding Missick in the first place? And then when Missick passed the ball, Bruno goes over here, and then he goes over there, and then he goes everywhere, spinning right around. That's what it's all about. What are we doing? And why isn't anybody on the bench doing anything about it? Let me play it one more time. Watch Bruno. Watch Bruno.
The correct score is 45-44. They just took a Trent Forrest basket away that they say came after the shot clock buzzer. Baseline jam for JT Thor.
What did Captain America say? I could do this all day. Yeah, I have. It takes a while to compile every shot from the opposing team on the offensive side for 4 quarters. It takes a long time to do this. But I want to make sure that for the people who don't watch games, I'm going to show you every shot to try to help you prove that it's Trae Young's fault, when actually I'm proving that it ain't. It's nowhere near his fault that we give up 70 points in the paint, 80 points in the paint, 60 points in the paint, 65 points in the paint, 50 points in the paint, second chance points, because we won't block out. It's not Trae Young's fault. You can't put it on Trae Young. You just can't do it. Not when you actually watch all the games. Not when you watch every shot from the opposing team and you watch DeRozan hitting all these open shots on Hunter. You can't do it. White had nothing but layups in that game almost. Just going to the basket over and over and over again, just going to the basket, free abandon. He wasn't blowing by Trae Young because Trae Young wasn't the one guarding him primarily. That was DJ and Bogey primarily guarding him that whole game. Because Hunter was on DeRozan. Trae was either on Ayo or Caruso when he was in the game. Those are his main defenders. The main people he was defending, I should say. He wasn't defending White. So Trae Young didn't give up 42 points for White. That didn't happen. And he definitely didn't give up the 24 points on Vucevic. That didn't happen. And he didn't give up the 22 points to DeRozan. It didn't happen. I don't got to prove it. The game proves it for you. There is no CGI. There is no matrix. I keep using those two things because I think people really live in the matrix. Let me show y'all. Let me do this. Third quarter. Let me show you the first 3 shots that Charlotte hit in the third quarter. It's going to be something interesting to y'all.
68-55. Backdoor cut. But no shot for Trey Mann. Here's Miller for 3 over Bogey, and it's good. Do it in front of the home fans that love him so much. He has been a great fan favorite since his first game in a Hawks uniform here. Runner by Miller is good. Ball fake, wrap around. No shot for Williams. 10 on the shot clock. Miller deep on the sideline.
Man, Miller is on fire.
Miller is on fire because he hit 3 in a row right there. But blame Trae. Trae wasn't on Miller. Why isn't Vid on Miller? They finally put Vid on Miller eventually. Miller had 27 points, though. We lost that game by 1 point. Remember, Trae didn't play the fourth quarter. We had a 92. Look, I'm going to show y'all. Let me see. Will this show me? I think it will. First shot of the fourth quarter. Look at the score. Right, let me, I got to take this off to do it. Let me see.
Here come the Hornets. Grant Williams gives to Miller. The defender fell down, Garrison Matthews, and he was barking about it.
So you saw the score right there, right?
Down the middle of Ford. He gives to Bruno. Rebound Charlotte. 7 seconds. 6. Bridges. Got it. Charlotte leads. 115-114.
That's how the game ended. So you went from not having those 92-77 or whatever that score was to losing 115-114. And Trae didn't play the fourth quarter. And y'all still gonna blame Trae Young for losing that game too? How? He didn't play the fourth quarter. He had a lead when he left. He had a lead. It was a bit. You see what I'm saying? Again, you can't keep saying something that ain't true once you see that it's not true. You gotta change the tune. You have to adjust. You got to. When I go over this Miami game, it's going to get really ugly. Because how you let Tyler Hero score all these points when Trae Young ain't on the floor? Who's sticking them? Who's giving up the points? Who's giving up all these points in all these games? Go look again. Go IMTN Worldwide Radio on YouTube, Around the ATL. And you go from show to show as I go through these games. You look at the Charlotte game that I just did yesterday. You look at the Minnesota game. Rudy Gobert had 25 points, 19 rebounds, and 5 blocks. Why was that allowed? Anybody? Anybody? Pacers, 157 points in the game. The Bulls, 72 points in the paint. Almost all of them exclusively by Kobe White. Layup line. He's shifty, they were saying. There was one move, he went around Murray. It was just like, come on now. That shouldn't be that easy. But y'all want to blame Trae Young. I'm like, well, you can blame Trae Young, but you also have to blame Murray and Hunter and Bogey and Clint and Bruno. Because it's a team sport. One player doesn't guard 5 players. It's 5 on 5, not 1 on 5. Everybody has to do their job too. Everybody has strengths. Everybody has weaknesses. The whole point of being on a team is that you accept that and you figure out how to even things out. When I get picked up by a team, if I don't have down and I get picked up on a team, and I know, man, that player, I don't know, but we got to figure out how to play with that player. If he has a particular weakness, we got to figure out what we can do strength-wise to help that even that out. Is he a shooter? Let me see if I can set him some screens, get him some wide open shots, because I know he can't rebound. You see what I'm saying? We got to even this out. He's not a ball handler? Okay, well, I'm going to get into the post and y'all just pass it to me. I'll get y'all some open shots then. I'll get 6 assists this game. It's a team sport. And I just don't think a lot of y'all out there in the world play sports, play anything organized, play on a team, much less play basketball. And that's why I said a couple of shows ago, I wouldn't want to play basketball with a lot of y'all because not you in general, but in general, I'm just saying, not you specifically, I should say, but in general, some of y'all, I wouldn't want to play with because I know you would try to leave me on an island. Oh man, Chris, I keep using this example for a reason, man. Oh man, Chris, he kind of slow tonight, man. I don't know if we can play with him. If he gets beat, I'm not gonna try to defend. I'm gonna just let the man just score. We play 16-minute games to 12 points, playing 2s and 1s. We can't afford that. That game is over pretty quick if you're just gonna just not rotate, not do your job. Like, what man does that? That's a punk move. That's what that is. That's a punk move. Again, I'm gonna say this quite loud. If I got a man that gets beat, I got to switch and try to stop that man now. That's my job. I might not be able to do it, but I got to try. Our team don't try. Our team would rather give up the points rather than do their job. And if it's a matter of getting beat and you just get beat, you got to come down and next time not get beat. Because getting beat from the top of the key is different from getting beat from the free throw line. If you get blown by from the free throw line, that's just you. Nobody has time to try to switch over from there. But if you're getting beat from the three-point line, that's completely different. There's a thing called help defense. And 95% of the time, everybody got cement shoes. Everybody got cement shoes. You could slide over, but again, we don't. And if somebody does, nobody rotates. We don't know how to do the basics. We have no teachers on our team, not coaches or players, which is why I said we got to get some better defensive players, people who are responsible, people who got some pride. If we ain't going to get no coach who, hey, that ball goes in the air, you got to tag your man. You got to block. They can't get the ball. A lot of my rebounds are at the rim because I blocked my man out. You're not getting around all me. Put my hands up. I'm like Torian Prince. You put your hands up in the air and you catch the ball, you bring it down, that's a rebound. And if I do that on the offensive side, guess what I can do? I don't have to bring the ball down because I'm taller than everybody. I just put it back up and score. Wow. That's what I do. Or if I know or if I'm at a bad angle, then I can pass it out and reset. We can keep the possession because we don't play free throws. So if I get fouled, we got to take it out again. So rather than let myself get fouled 17 different times in the post, I just pass it out and we reset. I get back into position. We don't know how to do the basics. We don't know how to do entry passes on our team. We don't. That's a skill. We don't know how to set screens for jumpers. We don't know how to set screens to get people open to get a jumper. We don't know how to do any of these things. I know how to do them because I've been playing for 40 years. Why don't the Hawks know how to do that? Because other teams do it to us all the freaking time. Backdoor cuts, whole 9 yards. We don't. Trying to keep my blood pressure down now. But anyway, guys, I'm going to get out of here. It's 3:30 in the morning. Watch Around the ATL. Watch Around the ATL Side Notes and watch Around the ATL. Those are two different shows. Side Notes is usually a topic show like tonight, talking about direction, right? Talking about filling needs, right? In the Hawks organization. And I gave y'all a little bit of a glimpse of the Hornets game that I just did the other day. But go through all of the shows. Go through game 80, 81, and 82, and the play-in game. It's 4 separate games I've gone through so far. The next game I'm going over is going to be game 79 against the Miami Heat. We lost that game 117-111. Tyler Hero. That's his own song. Why did he have 33 points again? Who scored? Who he scored on? Because it wasn't Trae Young because he wasn't in the game. Trae Young didn't play in 28 games. So how can we blame 14 losses on Trae Young when he didn't play? We didn't play better. We played 500 ball. That's not better to me. Better would have been 25-3. The Hawks are 27-33 all time without Trae Young. That is not playing better without Trae Young. You don't just take 25 points, 10 assists a game out of your lineup and think you're winning a whole heck of a lot. You finally had some people step up in the absences of having 4 people out. Finally, some people stepped up a little bit. They're doing their job. They're not playing better because Trae ain't there. One reason it looks like that is, again, your pace of play is different. By default, that's just what it is. Mike Conte even mentioned some of it was scheduling too. You got to play some teams that, besides some Celtics, they're an enigma or whatever. We beat them twice. That's cool. That's cool. We need to beat the Celtics every now and again. But what about all the other teams we didn't beat that we should have beat? I named some of them. We got beat twice by the Nets. Where's the excuses with that? The Kings, Utah, the Lakers, go on and on. Portland? Golly, you really let Simons get 36 points. Did you watch that game? That's not cool, man. Like, what are we talking about? So again, what is the Hawks' direction, and will we find out before the end of this week? Because again, really, if something was going to happen, it should have happened tonight. It should have happened the moment they put his name in there, and we needed to hear some stuff after that. But that didn't happen. And it don't look like it's going to. So now it's like, okay, well, who are we going to get? And again, what I wanted to happen, and I'm going to leave off with this. Oh, I forgot I took the banner off. What I wanted to happen, best case scenario, if we had smart people in our organization, we would have Trae Young, we would have Caruso, we would have Kevin Durant, we would have JJ, and we would have had Sar. We would have had Kobe coming off the bench, Bogey coming off the bench, OG coming off the bench, Kool Moji coming off the bench, and Okongwu coming off the bench. That gives us depth, it gives us skill, and it plugs in a whole lot of holes. Kevin Durant gives you an easy 25 a night. That's a lot more than 14 a game from Hunter. He also gives you size. He gives you rebounding, because Hunter don't rebound for his position either. At least Kevin will do that for you. And Kevin will hit some big shots for you. Trae won't have to score as much all of a sudden, having a, for sure, Kevin Durant on your team all of a sudden to go along with Jalen Johnson and his 16 plus, along with Sar playing with both Jalen and Trae, right? And then you got Caruso playing his defense, Jalen playing defense, Sar playing defense. Can get back on people, can come up on a switch on a shooter at the top of the key. He'll be able to do all that. His tape shows you that. He has 2 tapes, one defense, one offense. His defensive tape, he can do those things that Clint can't do, frankly. Then coming off the bench, you got OG coming in the game for you? Oh, shoot. Hopefully Kool Moji plays better at defense because he's pretty bad right now, but hopefully a year under his belt, he'll learn. And then you got Okongwu, who's very solid at defense. And then he can finish at the basket. He can actually hit a 3 as well. But then for extra depth, you get Drummond. So if you get us injury at the center position, you got Drummond now. You also will have Pat Bev. Again, he dropped 18 on us one night. My gosh. But he also is a player who's been a defensive player of the year candidate. And he's also been on the first or second team all defensive team as well. Or at least gotten a whole bunch of votes for it, for real. And he actually plays with intensity. He has a voice out there. You might not like it, but you're going to listen. And we need that on this team. Someone to listen, someone to tell somebody what's going on. You keep Garrison, you keep Vic, and you keep Seth. Seth is a shooter. Vic can play all kinds of positions out there, help you out, and Garrison can hit a 3 when you need it. So you got 3 levels of depth. So if you have 4 people out, all of a sudden now, you can still maintain. We couldn't maintain before. Now you could. And that team could get you to the Eastern Conference Finals. That team can advance to the finals. You got Kevin Durant and Trae Young on the same team, along with JJ and Sar and OG and Caruso. That's a championship team right there to me. Now, Caruso's gone, so I said, well, maybe we can get Herb instead. Or even Dort. Caruso went to OKC. Do they need Dort out there? They might get Klay Thompson. They definitely don't need Dort at that point. But that's what I would do if I had control. But I don't. And apparently neither does the owner of the team. Hopefully y'all have a good night. I don't know when I'll be on the air again just yet. But I just wanted to just try to come on and just do it like this rather than try to do a whole bunch of lives all over the place. I figured I'd just come on here and save this. But y'all can let me know what you think. Make sure you share the show with a couple of people. I appreciate that. But just subscribe. Those who are watching right now, take a couple of seconds after I get off the air and subscribe to the YouTube channel. It'll help me out a lot. I appreciate that. Follow me on Twitter, again, like I said, Intellect ATL. You can follow on Facebook or Instagram, of course. There's a Twitter page, Intellect ATL. My co-host is Jordan Jackson, Jordan23. That being said, I'm going to get out of here. Until next time, y'all take care. And we'll see what the future of the Hawks is going to be, hopefully before the end of July, I guess. I don't know. I'm not positive about any of it right now, guys. I just don't feel good. But maybe we'll get lucky. We'll see. Till next time, y'all take care. And I'm trying to find my outro. Can't find it all of a sudden. There we go. Y'all take care. Peace.